Matt.
Hello.
What are we doing?
Chilling like villains. Gamers 2 podcast. That's the one.
That's the real answer. Not the fake one.
February 1st, 2019.
It is the beginning of the month of our Lord Feburius. Praise be unto him.
Jesus.
Anyway. Yeah, we're back in the normal swing of things. No bonus episode this week, but I do have a follow-up question to some of the bonus episodes.
Oh boy.
I say some of the bonus episodes, I specifically mean the one we did last week. The first one of 2019, in which you said you were going to take some of the treats home.
Yes.
And test some theories.
Yes.
So I'm curious on the breakfast angle with the yakwa. That is not a Korean pronunciation, by the way. I added way too much Middle Eastern phlegm. Continue.
Tea.
Yes.
Good with, not bad with tea.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you dunk, or was it?
Yeah, there was dunking. There was
okay.
dunking. Very absorbent. Like, in a good way.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how to describe it. It's like, it picks
absorbent,
up fluid,
but not
it doesn't
disintegration.
Fall apart. Exactly, it doesn't fall apart.
I'm picking up what you're putting down, except you didn't put anything down because it didn't fall off.
Coffee worked well too. They were both good.
Yeah.
I think it worked well for me with coffee because they're like there's like that honey sweetness to them.
Right.
And I don't add sugar to my coffee. So like they kind of balanced each other out a little bit.
Fair enough.
And it's, green. I had green tea, had Earl Grey, which is basically black tea with
pretty much
some lavender shit in it.
Some lavender shit in it. I mean, it is. You're not wrong, but
so yeah, it was all right.
Cool.
Yeah. What else? I did somewhat. I had like random people came to the house, and I had like the gummies. Like I had everything just sitting on the table.
Okay.
So like when someone new came over, like Joey came over and Callie came over, and I was like, "Hey guys, try my assortment of wares.
Look at Khajiit has wares. If you have coin."
Yeah. So what I should have done was just offer it to them, and then like lied about what they were or something.
Right.
But
hand them the strawberry one. Tell them it's a lemon sucker.
Yeah.
See
so
what happens.
Essentially, what I did was I basically explained to everyone what they were, why they're in my possession,
how I came to accrue these wares.
And then after that, people were just like, "Nah, I'm not trying that." Like,
why?
Everyone tried the gummies because
why are people so scared of things?
The one that was a big success, which also was amazing for dunking, was those fucking lemon things.
Ah, yes. Our lemon crackers that you can tell are clearly not here anymore because the rest are in my stomach.
Exactly. They were really good. Everyone liked those, and they were great for dunking as well.
As one would say, they were called lemon.
Yeah.
I pronounce that like French because for some reason I also think of Le Mans, the raceway.
Those were also really good for dunking because like they absorbed but didn't crumble.
Really, they didn't crumble. I would have thought they would have fallen apart immediately because they were like almost saltine level.
Yeah, and then with like tea and coffee, obviously those are hot, and it like softened up the lemon filling.
Yep.
Yeah, good stuff.
Why do we?
Still have some actually.
Why do we have boring friends?
I don't know. I say
boring friends around here. Clearly, we have more exotic ones throughout the rest of the country.
Well, I just assumed everyone would be interested. Like I'm like, something new. Like I'm like, fuck yeah, I'll try it. Like if it's bad, so what? They're just like, nah. Like you tell them what it is. Like I'm honest. Like this is what it is.
Right.
This is how it's like. This is what it tastes like. And they're like,
just take a bite. Don't.
Yeah.
Oh, people, I just need to.
Yeah.
There's one specific one I'm disappointed in. But I understand her reasoning, but I'm still disappointed in her.
Yeah.
I figure she would have a bigger palate. But
I assumed that too, and I actually mentioned that. I was like, I thought you'd be down for this.
Yeah.
And she's like, you know what? You would think that would be the case, but I'm surprisingly terrible with food.
For someone that I would be like, they're a pretty cultured person. Yeah. Disappointment. Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, it was still a good time, and if you haven't listened to it, you should. There are 6 or 7 things we go over. We'll probably do one at the end of this month as well. I opened another sour beer tonight. I am now also into this Deadfall Ale.
Yeah, I like that one.
It's like a darker one. It's like a darker ale.
Yeah.
Only in terms of if you drink it, you'll know what I mean.
Yeah, it's like I'm like blanking. I'm trying to think of like a descriptor for it, but I can't.
Yeah, it's a spiced one. Like it's a. Yeah. Anyway, that's up there. I still do want to crack those open maybe tonight. The maple candies because we forgot about them last time. But that is another time, another place for us to talk about things. Because this is normally geeky, nerdy, gamey, but like video gamey, not meat gamey. Though we do that. That's in the bonus episodes though. Yeah. So what have you been doing the last 7 days since we have met?
Did I finished Odyssey last time, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I played a little Subnautica.
Okay.
Got my graphics card.
Yes, the RTX.
Yep. So I was like, now the issue is like I don't have anything to play, so that's sad. No, so I played a little Subnautica. I'm interested. I'll probably jump back into it. What else did I do? Played the Anthem beta today, or demo today, which we'll talk about later on. But in doing so, my computer case.
Oh no.
Needs to be replaced.
Oh no.
Not up to the task of keeping things cool in there.
Oh.
Once I had the beta or the demo running on Anthem,
and it was just.
And I when I was telling you how I switched to the controller,
right?
When I was thumbing around for the controller that sits on top of my computer case, I touched the top of the computer case, and I was like, "Wow, that's really warm," which has never happened before. So I started feeling around the case, and it was like noticeably warm to the touch, which is strange. So I pulled up the hardware monitor, and the processor was like, I don't know, 60 something degrees Celsius, which is normal because it's a 4-core. It literally pegs every core.
And you were running something at the time, so I mean,
yeah. When I have a modern game running, it's literally 100% usage on every single core. The video card was low to mid 70s Celsius, which is
a little warm.
Just below throttling. It starts to throttle once it hits 80, I believe, 83 or something like that. So I popped the side panel off. That's because I have a weird layout. So I popped the side panel off, and it dropped to low 60s.
More flow.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what boring case you pick now.
It will be boring aesthetically, but it'll probably be interesting for a different reason.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be interesting because I have ideas of what you probably will do, but at the same time, I also know it'll be extremely boring aesthetically.
Yes.
It'll be a black shoebox.
It might be. It'll probably be close to the size of a shoebox.
Yeah.
Because, heating trouble, so why not stuff it into a smaller
even closer.
Case?
I took the side off to cool it. How about I make it smaller?
So that's interesting. Did a lot of watching. Anime, added more animes in because we kicked some out for the mid-season break, or they're done with their season or whatever. But Rising of the Shield Hero, high fantasy. It's kind of like these people get transported to another world, and it's very much set up like a game. Like they've entered like a game world, kind of. It's really dark though.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say
the main character gets he gets accused of rape in the first episode, and basically gets shunned from society. And then he gets a slave, and it's just this whole. It sounds it's weird because it is dark. Don't get me wrong, but not in the way that you're thinking.
You just gotta be real careful. You're about to not say it's comical.
It's not funny,
Okay.
but it's not it's not dark in the way that it sounds when you just read it out on paper. It's dark and like the dude's just getting played by society essentially.
Oh, one of them's.
Yeah, and then Kaguya-sama, Love is War, which is fucking hilarious. It's these like two college students, I think, or high school students or whatever, but they're like both super smart, and they think that if they confess their love to someone, that's you giving up power to that person, and that person will always have the upper hand in relationships. So they're trying to get
they're not wrong.
Yeah, they're trying to get the other person to confess love, so they're constantly doing this like crazy like strategic tactical like mind battle that's constantly happening. You'd probably enjoy it, actually.
I probably would, but at the same time, they're not wrong.
Yeah.
The moment you give somebody an emotional, they hold your emotions, and you can use that.
Dude, it's so funny. It's so ridiculous, the shit that they do to each other. The normal other anime stuff, just those are the new ones, and then everything else that I've mentioned in previous weeks. Then I watched a documentary on Netflix called Being Elmo, A Puppeteer's Journey.
I know somebody that would love that, probably. Or has probably watched it already 600 times. Her name is Elise Willems.
It was a really good documentary. It was like an hour, 45 minutes, something like that. Nothing outrageous. It was really interesting. It basically, like, the guy who is, like, the current iteration of Elmo, like, the dude who basically created that personality of Elmo from, like, when he was a little kid all the way through his, where he is now, like, how he got here, like, meeting Jim Henson and Frank Oz and, like, all these, like, crazy Sesame Street people. And, like, it was like, Samantha showed a little bit of interest in it, so I was like, screw it, we'll watch it. And we got sucked in, and it was really good.
Cool.
And that's what I've been doing this week. Elmo and Anthem.
Those are two really weird, polar opposites almost. Though I guess if you considered a javelin a puppet, maybe it's not too far.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. My javelin's my puppet. I play with it.
You literally go all the way inside it.
You do. I'm not. Every time you climb into the javelin, like I get a little claustrophobic. Like the animation, I don't like that.
Yeah, once you realize that you're just, you're like,
Yeah, it was. It's awkward. What have you been doing?
It feels claustrophobic, but at the same time, I kind of look at it. I'm like, I just put on a coat. It's just a big, winter onesie.
Yep.
I'm back in the kid days where you're almost having to T-pose because you can't move your arms.
Miss those days.
Me. Yeah. I've been doing a lot, as is tradition. Let's Go Pikachu. Still, just moving around. Playing Detroit.
Yep.
You saw how far we are. We discussed.
Yeah,
choices.
I gotta. Maybe what I'll do is I'll go home and take screenshots of my flow charts with my phone, and then we can compare next time. Yeah, because I am genuinely curious to see the breakdown. So
it's been interesting so far for us and the other three friends that we're curious about. MLB still playing, Battlefield still playing, FM19 working on it, Assassin's Creed Odyssey I didn't touch. Screw Guacamelee, I'm done with that game.
I saw that note in there.
There was a boss fight at the end that the hitboxes were not correct on.
Mm-hmm.
I say not correct. To my eyes, I could not figure out how I was getting hit.
Mm-hmm.
And I spent like 15 minutes with it, and I would get him all the way down, and then I would get hit with something. I was like, I don't know what I got hit by. And I just raged, and I was like, and I don't need to finish this uninstall. Moving on. Great fun platformer. I just got to that point. I'm like, I don't know what's hitting me. All right. But it also works for me to move another game off my list with.
Yeah, you played enough of it, probably, right?
I played enough. I played enough of it, and I play a ton of things. So slowly subtracting things from a list doesn't hurt me.
Yeah.
Still reading The Killer Collective by Barry Eisler. Interesting. We're still building to what the actual story is, so I'm not lost yet.
Yeah.
Still watching football, still watching soccer. I say still watching football. We're coming up on Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah, what are your Super Bowl plans? You doing?
Going to my buddy's house up the road here.
I'll be working.
Fair enough. The last one that I worked, the power went out at. I was there. Mike told me to go home so I could watch the game. As I left Target, the power went out. As I showed up to my buddy's house, the power came on.
Ah, nice.
So it was perfect.
Perfect timing.
As if God's like, you will watch the rest of this game. Power off. Then basketball and Grand Tour.
Yeah, the Grand Tour. That's good. I like it so far.
Doing good. We're technically, air quotes, an episode behind because we spaced the Columbia thing out over 2 weeks when they released the whole thing last week. So that'll be fine for us. There's no spoiler in Grand Tour. So
is that... Did they just do it for that one?
Yeah, like this one's only a one-part one.
Okay.
We started there. Mm-hmm. And then I started watching... I say begrudgingly because whenever stuff starts getting suggested to me, especially TV shows, I'm always just like, I have very peculiar, specific tastes. And my buddy's like, you should watch The Passage.
Is that the Hulu one?
No, that is on CBS.
I don't know what that
it's the one with Mark Paul Gosselaar, Zach from Saved by the Bell.
Okay.
It's him and a kid, and essentially they're making vampires. Like, easy enough, the story is vampires. That's in the trailer. Or the idea is vampires. So
I have no idea what this show is.
And they're like, oh, vampires aren't real, and this whole thing. But whatever.
Oh, okay. All right, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And I'm 3 episodes in, and nothing has happened. So I think they're doing it in the idea that they have like a 5-season plan, so it's a slow burn. Mm-hmm. And I say nothing has happened. They just haven't gotten anywhere that I want yet. I'm like, okay, you got a good premise. I like kind of what you're doing, but just do something now. All right, yeah, here, all right, good. All right, I see those stories going. Okay, cool. They're gonna do something, and the episode's over. Oh, they didn't do anything again. Like
that's like my experience of Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I only got a couple seasons in, and I was like,
yeah,
and I just couldn't finish it.
Same. Huh.
We'll see. We'll see how far that stays. I'm expecting there will either be a moment where I'm like, "Yep, you got me," or "Nope." I feel like it's teetering on the point of pivotal moment thing where it's either going to be good and it'll make me continue, or it'll be silly and I'll have to go, "What? What? No." And
is it like just mediocre in every other way, like just like character development and all that? Is it just not? It's just that kind of on cruise control.
There's already been one unnecessary love relationship. Like the relationship's fine. Yeah. But you can already figure out it's happening, and then they all of a sudden just show a sex scene. Mm-hmm. And you're like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like, and that didn't need to happen. Even the scene they show right after the sex scene, which is setting up kind of, it's a overarching story moment where it's like, oh, these things are happening to people. Didn't need the sex scene. It just needed him to be asleep in bed.
Yeah.
So it's still just kind of like... But that was the only time it's happened. It hasn't happened there was only one moment in 3 episodes. So I guess so far that has been toned down.
Yeah.
Not that I have like a problem. It's just like it's usually just shoehorned in and it's not good. Otherwise, character development so far has been good. But I'm still like, okay, so we have some character development. Some characters are developing. Other ones are kind of just there still.
Yeah.
And you're just like, just... do something. But
I feel like everyone's starting to fall into that, like, I don't want to say Game of Thrones trap, but like that HBO trap where like they're trying to like have these elaborate shows that get, you know, as many seasons as they want. And
I'm really worried because if you watch the trailer, there's a couple scenes that happen in like the commercial trailers and stuff for it that haven't shown up yet.
Yeah.
I'm 3 episodes in. Mm-hmm. I saw those trailers before the first episode.
Yeah.
I'm worried that there is a chance that one of those shots is in the season finale.
That's what I was going to say is like,
And
I'm wondering if it's going to be one of those instances where they pack everything in the season finale, have a cliffhanger, and be like, oh, we got them.
And if that's the case, if they showed me the season finale in the trailer, holy shit, am I not watching season 2? Do you want to piss me off? See you later. I don't have time. I'm already getting yelled at that I need Netflix from somebody else. They're like, oh my God, you're like 3 movies behind. I'm trying to make references and you have no idea. Not new movies, by the way. Old movies. Like, oh, you need to watch this. By the way, probably won't meet my standards. I'd probably be like, meh, but.
I the only reason why I have Netflix is because my nephews use it. And I would feel bad getting rid of it. That's literally the only reason why I have Netflix.
Right. I have no reason for it unless I get somebody else's account. And then it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I'm watching The Passage. I'm using my buddy's Hulu account.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I was talking to him about Hulu TV the other day because he was his girlfriend was looking at like PlayStation Vue or something. Yeah. And I was like, Hulu just has like a TV option in it. And you already have Hulu.
They like don't advertise it.
Right.
At all.
And he's like, oh, really? We'll take a look at that. I'll let you know if we upgrade the account. I was like, I don't need it for anything, but rather than pay for 2 services, just.
Yeah. Fall into that trap. Too many services.
Too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yes.
But you want to know what there's not too many of this week, Matt?
New releases.
Good segue. There's actually like more, but as we all know, I cut this list down to things that intrigue me or that people can't stop talking about, which would be Kingdom Hearts 3 for the PS4 and Xbox.
Have you looked at reviews for that game?
I have not. I just know it exists.
Some
people have been like, cool, we really enjoy it. Other ones are just like, I'm happy for you, but none of us understand why.
Yeah, same thing. A lot of people at my place of my employment have been circle jerking it, and I'm like, I'm glad you like it, but I don't see the allure.
I've watched some streams of it, and I'm just like, okay.
Yeah,
that's it. Like, I don't have I'm like, I mean, it looks good, cool. I just don't. It doesn't grab me. Doesn't give me the goods that I want it to. So
it's not for us.
No, it's not. But that doesn't matter. We're only 2 people in a
sea of people,
close to probably 10 million unit sales ocean. Downwell got a port to Switch.
Which one's that?
That's the one where you're falling down a well.
Okay. Yep. I know down. Yeah, that would make sense. You're falling down a well.
I know that's a jackass answer, but that is what the game is.
Yeah, I know you
got rocket boots. And then the Anthem demo for everyone is out.
For everyone.
And we will, once again, discuss Anthem later because it's not for everyone.
It's not for everyone. It's not for anyone
now,
at launch. No.
Before we get into our flashy news headlines, I want to have a quick sidebar conversation with you. In not sidebar tones.
Okay.
Because clearly we're just going to have this right now. It's not going to get cut out because we don't cut this. What do you want to do about this order? Because this is one of the most hodgepodge together documents we have ever had.
So,
do we want to start at the bottom and go backwards?
Let's do the housekeeping for a second here and explain to you. I mean, we've probably explained it before, but generally when I'm doing the document.
It's a good explanation. It's the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
New listeners, I hope.
What happens is I run through all the news for the week and I'll throw in basically like titles or like game keywords that, tells you what the story is. And then later on, and it's in no particular order. It's literally in the order that I find them.
Yeah, usually if I'm throwing stuff in, I always check the news articles like each day of the week. And then if I see something, I go, cool. And then I just go throw it in the document. And I'm like, we'll reference it later.
Yeah. And then what ends up happening is I go back through, I read multiple sources on every topic, and then I'll write up a little blurb, and then I'll order them up in a way that makes sense. What didn't happen so much this week is any of that. Because I usually do it on a Thursday or Friday when I'm usually not working. But what happened is the Anthem demo also came out today. So I played the demo all day and did this like an hour before
My favorite part is you did nothing on Thursday with it.
Yeah, I was working, unfortunately.
Right, and I don't ever care when it gets done. I don't care if you showed up here and we're like, by the way, we need to write the document, because we would. But then
that's happened a few times.
When I'm looking at it tonight, because I was like, oh, he's been off all day. And I get home and I'm like, I know I need to write up that one part that I said I was going to write up. Yeah. And so I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh, he's thrown headlines in. And then I see your cursor blinking and I'm like, oh, he hasn't written anything yet.
Yeah, but it'll just be a little convoluted, a little out of order, but we'll get through it.
So that's why I say, do you want to go backwards? Because I feel
let's go backwards. That sounds good.
Backwards will probably be the save, and you can start.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'll start
because that'll give me the odd numbers. So,
let's see here. Just some pop culture stuff.
I mean, real quick. Technically, I should start because I'm gonna make the joke that we're gonna go to number 11, and I'm gonna go, okay, cool. Now back to you.
Yeah, I don't know why that's in there. That's interesting.
So technically, I'll start.
Okay.
Because that would be number 11. Mm-hmm. All right. So here we go. Number 1. Yeah. Now I'm gonna do this to you. Yeah. You better keep on your toes with the numbers, boy. Number 1, there is some pop culture stuff. Ubisoft sent out a promotional email for the private beta for the Division 2 that read, quote, "Come see what a real government shutdown looks like in the private beta," end quote. Obviously, that's fucking hilarious, but some people can't take a joke. So they sent out an apology email within an hour of the original. By the way, the private beta is running from February 7th to the 11th for all platforms. I'm not going to play the private beta, but I love it.
The email looked great.
Yeah.
And everyone, I saw it on Reddit, and I didn't see anyone complaining about it. They're like, this is the best thing ever. And there's people who are like, I'm a government worker. I haven't worked in like X amount of weeks. I find this hilarious.
Yeah. Because everybody finds it hilarious until like certain politicians are going to be like, but whatever.
Yep.
Negative Nancy's. Also, there is a Fast and Furious Hobbs and Shaw trailer. And as Matt says, my God.
I'm assuming you haven't watched it.
I refused.
That's fair.
I saw the poster and I hit play. It made it 2 seconds in and I went, what am I doing? And I stopped it, closed out Twitter, and went about my day.
I wish, basically what happened, I sat down at the computer. I fired up YouTube, as I do. You can go ahead. And that's what popped up first on whatever, my YouTube thing was. It was that thing. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And I clicked it to watch it because it said Fast and the Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw.
You took a bullet, my friend.
I did. I watched the whole trailer. They need to stop that series.
They needed to stop before Tokyo Drift. But
it's something. It's something.
It'll sell boatloads in Asia.
It will. It'll be real interesting.
Also, apparently Matt Reeves is rebooting Batman, and Ben Affleck is confirmed via Twitter that he won't be reprising the role. Matt Reeves has directed Cloverfield, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, which I hate that title. And I also hate this one, War for the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't care.
Not surprisingly, we pretty much knew Ben Affleck wasn't going to be back. There was talk that he might have, but we all knew it was not going to happen.
Yeah.
And we'll just see.
I
didn't know he did the other ones. I liked Cloverfield as a movie. I can't get into the Planet of the Apes movies. I don't know why.
I've never watched them. I'm just like,
they're
rebooting
hate the dawn
it again.
Of the war of the yeah. Well, yeah, but I mean, every time they're going to reboot Batman because they can never. They wrap up stories too fast. Like this time they'll reboot it. It'll still be the origin. The first movie will be the origin one, but it won't deal with probably like Ra's al Ghul or whatever. It'll deal with like Freeze, like all the old ones again. Like Penguin will probably show back up. People that actually haven't been seen in the movies in the last 10 to 12 years. So like Ra's is out, Joker's out, Bane's out. They'll go Penguin, Riddler,
Poison Ivy,
Mr. Freeze, like that era again. It would be my guess.
It's just
Poison Ivy. Sorry,
I just wonder when they're gonna just stop.
Never.
making bad movies.
Wow, you're going to call the Batman movies bad?
No, like
Oh, okay.
this current generation of Batman movies.
I say, do you want me to say the next story so you can say that sentence again?
Yes.
Okay. The next story is the new Suicide Squad movie will be written and directed by James Gunn. So there's at least a little hope for the DC movie universe. That being said, early reports say that it's actually not a sequel, but a relaunch of a movie that only existed once, with new characters, and casting. Because, Will Smith can't carry a movie. Who never should have had top billing on that to begin with.
It's rewind time.
Oh. I hope somebody sent that to him when they grabbed that headline article and they just got the picture of him pressing it's rewind time and they sent it to him and he's just like, damn it, they got me. It's good. It's good.
That's fantastic. I don't know. That's like the best news I think that we've received about the DC movie universe.
Well, we knew he went to do Suicide Squad. It was just going to be a question of was he doing number 2. The fact that they're saying it's a relaunch is actually scary. And at the same time, though, it's good because Guardians of the Galaxy is basically Suicide Squad for Marvel. So
yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they end up just giving him
we're
the whole
the bad
universe.
guys. That's my Margot Robbie.
Yeah. Isn't she coming out? Isn't she in a movie coming up?
I'll watch anything she's in. She's hot.
Like as Harley Quinn?
Harley Quinn was supposed to be getting her own movie. I think in a, I don't want to say Vixens of Gotham, but like Ladies of Gotham style movie. Her, Poison Ivy, all the Catwoman, all those guys, gals. Sorry.
Interesting. Alrighty, number 2. NetEase, I can speak, acquired a minority stake in Quantum Dream so they can go multi-platform.
Matt can speak, but it's Quantic.
Quantic. Yeah, dude, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, they make Detroit Become Human, obviously.
And Beyond Two Souls.
Yeah, I think that's right. And Heavy Rain.
Heavy Rain. Mm-hmm. The Ellen Page game.
Yeah.
And Willem Dafoe.
Yeah. So you think it's a good thing? Bad thing? Don't care?
I don't really care. I guess I'm more intrigued to see what it means for them to go multi-platform and what their next game will be after the critical success that was Detroit. Detroit's been so far amazing. So
yeah, it's really innovative, I feel like, in a certain way.
It's creepy.
It is.
It's good creepy.
Yeah.
It's not like scary creepy. There's just moments like we booted it up tonight and the menu chick, it's obviously Friday, February 1st, and the menu chick is an AI that will interact with you while you're waiting. And she's like, what better way to start the weekend than with Detroit? And we just both looked at each other and we're like, who told you it's a fucking Friday? You psychopath. Obviously, you just look at a time code, but still, it's
just weird.
It's funny with the amount of like care that they just put in little things like that.
Yeah, I hope they do more like Detroit.
Same.
I haven't really played. I've never played Heavy Rain. I haven't played Beyond Two Souls.
Kumail Nanjiani has a pretty good joke about Heavy Rain. I'll play it for you after this because I don't want to ruin it.
Okay.
He tells it in such a correct way that I can't do it justice.
That's fair.
Number 3. It is no secret that GameStop has been struggling. From a subjective point of view, I'm more than a casual gamer. Gamers. And it has been years since I've been inside a GameStop. That is true for both of us.
Oh, sweet.
So you got lucky there as I read this in your perspective. So it's not too surprising that the GameStop board of directors has had trouble finding a buyer for the company. Before you say anything when we get done, I've got a solid joke lined up, so don't worry about it. Trouble finding a buyer for the company. In a statement released this past Tuesday, it looks like they've given up. Quote, GameStop's board has now terminated efforts to pursue a sale of the company due to the lack of available financing on terms that would be commercially acceptable to a prospective acquirer, end quote. GameStop recently reported a third quarter loss of $488.6 million, which probably didn't help their cause. They also went to somebody and realized that their trade-in value was only $3.21. That's terrible. There's the joke. How much are you guys worth? About $350? I'll give you $350 to acquire you. Oh, we're not commercially acceptable value for that. Yeah, that's the fucking point. Do you get the joke? GameStop? Idiots.
What do you think's gonna happen?
Real quick, idiots is not a word. You idiots is, but idiots.
It is now.
Should be a word.
It is now.
Can I get that on a shirt? Anybody else that wants to make me a shirt, put a cartoon face of me and it just says idiots in a speech bubble. It's like Yiddish, but idiots, and it's not a racial slur. Anyway, it's a matter of time, I think, before we officially see GameStop not necessarily go by the wayside, but really plunge into problems.
Yeah.
I think they'll eventually be coming close to going by the wayside or becoming more of a retro store / gamer merch store, which they've already done with their partnership and stuff with ThinkGeek.
Yeah.
But their used game model is kind of just start going down unless they start trying to recover it in some drastic way, which I don't think is going to necessarily work for them.
Yeah, I don't have any good ideas on how, but they really do need to like pivot to something else as a focus.
I would come close to almost rebranding. That's not even a joke. I would ditch the name GameStop because of how bad it's been associated and go back to Electronics Boutique.
Honestly, they probably would have decent success if they did that and then sort of tried to kind of become like a new Radio Shack almost.
Well, even if they went to like EB Games, right, or one of their old titles, or they went to something new. The problem is if they went to a retro style in the corporate world doesn't work because retro needs to be held at like the mom and pop level where you can walk in with a retro thing and that person can fix it as well. Like there's a lot of that's almost a scary one in that. You'd be better off just becoming like ThinkGeek's outlet stores.
Yeah. And I was thinking like a specialty, like all the stuff that we order online for, like because you can't find it in stores.
Be hardware, accessories.
But like the good stuff.
Yeah, the good stuff. Don't do the cheap stuff. And then if you really wanted to, be like an Asian import store.
That would be fantastic.
Or like a port store. Don't do the other stuff.
If they were an import store, that'd be amazing.
Bring in titles you can't get from outside the country because the people that are already going to GameStop anyway are that level of nerdy.
Yes.
So there's your ideas, GameStop. Let us know. You'll probably still rake in about
cut us a check.
You'll still probably rake in about $512 million in loss. Sorry, we can't help you too much. That was also a memory joke. Anyway, 512, get it? Like mega. Yeah.
All right. Number 4. EA is removing paid loot boxes from FIFA in Belgium. Back in April. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. I'm gonna let you finish.
But
Beyonce had the no, because every time I interrupt you, you correct me in the next 2 sentences anyway. So I'm just gonna wait.
You might be right this time. We'll see.
It's not loot boxes.
That's
what I mean to specify.
Microtransactions.
It's a currency that you can use in Ultimate Team.
Yeah.
Specifically FIFA points.
That's why I said paid loot boxes, not loot boxes.
FIFA points. Because paid loot boxes is still I just want you to be correct. That's all.
Back in April of 2018, Belgium declared that microtransaction-based loot boxes were gambling, and since have been threatening legal action against EA for its implementation in FIFA Ultimate Team. It looks like EA has decided to back down. Starting January 31st, Belgium players will no longer have the option to purchase Ultimate Team points, instead having to rely on good old-fashioned grinding to get their loot boxes.
Which is how we've been doing it anyway.
Back to the good old days.
Can't just throw money at it and get
just Belgium, though.
Right.
Just specifying Belgium.
But that is a precedent, is what we call that. And now they have said it, and we shall move on. And we shall hope that other countries will take up behind Belgium's hard stance and take down the tyrant that is the King of Spades, EA.
Saddam Hussein?
Was he the spade?
I don't even know.
Wasn't he the like ace?
Yeah, the ace of something.
Ace of Spades. It's a Metallica reference now.
I don't know. Where were you?
Wait,
I'm not up.
Is Ace of Spades Metallica? No, it's not.
That's
Motorhead.
Ace of Spades. The Ace of Spades. I can't remember
It's
who it is.
Motorhead, right? Oh,
I don't
Black
know.
Sabbath.
I don't know. I'm not a music dude. I'm not a music historian.
Are you trying to say they're old? They're still playing. Have you seen Lars? He'll sue you.
Sue me for what? A penny?
That's a reference way back to the iTunes problems.
Oh, they're still suing people.
No, I know.
Trust me.
Yeah, I know, but it hasn't been in the news like I'll sue your ass anyway. I'll sue.
They literally, I think it was last year I saw that they were suing someone for
probably still trying to sue Napster.
It was something. What was it? It was so ridiculous. Oh my god! It was I think it was video game related.
Yeah, probably it was. They were probably trying to sue Black Ops 3 and Avenged Sevenfold. Where's my drum solo? Anyway, number 5. Sony has filed for a patent that all but confirms that the PS5 will have backwards compatibility. The patent is for Sony's version of CPU spoofing. Essentially, a future console would have a combination of software and or hardware that could determine what prior console CPU is necessary to run legacy software. This patent could also hint at the PS5's potential. Up to this point, consoles have not been capable of this type of on-the-fly emulation, so it looks like next-gen consoles are getting even closer to the power of their computer cousins.
I just realized that the order is going to be the little bit of ordering that I did is going to be a little bit skewed now.
It's going to be a little bit skewed, but it's also funny because you're about to read number 6, which is number 6. No matter.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So interesting.
It is interesting
about the PS5 to say that it's going to have backwards. I think
it was backwards compatibility.
I think it was almost a matter of time, but that type is interesting.
It is very interesting.
Just put 2 CPUs in it. I know that gets into
that.
Weird,
that what's funny about that?
That gets into server territory, but just have 1 CPU for the PS5 and then 1 CPU dedicated to emulations.
I don't think you're very intelligent, Nate. No, I don't think you're far off.
Listen, you can stroke my ego all day. Don't sarcastically stroke my ego.
No, if you look at the diagrams that are accompanying the patent application, a couple of them show that actual setup where it's basically 2 CPUs, like a general purpose CPU, and that is the one that's determining, hey, this is the type of processor you need to emulate, and then the second CPU is doing the actual emulation.
I'm close.
Yes.
I should work at Sony. I could figure that out. I also would never be able to hear what Mark Cerny said. Because I would be asleep. With his lustrous, soft voice and his true
I hope we get
and his true HDR video display that we're not going to see at E3.
I hope we get another Mark Cerny presentation.
I couldn't believe they chose Cerny to do it. He's probably the only one that knew the technical specs, but at the same time, you're like, you're going to let him talk? He's got such a soft, lustrous voice that you're just going to lull the crowd to sleep. But
I feel like now it's become such a thing that if he were to walk on stage and everyone, being like, oh, I'm going to announce PS5, everyone would just go nuts.
I would only hope that he would walk out and go PS5 and then throw the mic on the ground and then just walk off stage. And then just suck it, chop the crowd.
I feel like he would just gently set the mic on the ground.
Yeah. He would PS5, holds out the mic, drops the mic, catches it in his left hand, and then slowly sets it on the ground. And then just
there we go. There it is.
It just kind of slants off stage, but doing the scuff with his foot where his heel hits, and then
Ugh, I hate that. Number 6, interesting numbers time.
Numbers.
According to Nico Partners analyst Daniel Ahmad
Rashad. Sorry, that's a X Games run.
Yeah,
this last week or whatever, and every time I hear X Games, all I can think of is Ahmad Rashad. But that's sorry, Daniel Ahmad.
According to analyst Daniel Ahmad, PlayStation Network made $12.5 billion in revenue for 2018, which is more than Nintendo's. Woo!
Just think, we're not even to the big stories yet.
More than Nintendo's total revenue, and also more than Microsoft's entire gaming division. Another random number, PSN has over 90 million active users each month, according to the same analyst. And this analyst must be a popular guy because he also has sources who've told him that Sony has moved all of their first-party studios to next-gen development. I'm assuming they mean like all the ones that are available and not working on like The Last of Us 2 or whatever.
Or Death Stranding.
Yeah, or
Days Gone.
Or Dreams. Well, that might be on PS5.
Honestly, at this point, Dreams might be a PS5 launch title. Can you imagine they released the demo on PS4 and Dreams is a PS5 launch title? Holy shit, would I cry with laughter. I would honestly just tell you to hand me the liquor bottle and I would start doing shots at that E3. That'd be so awesome. And I would just look at you and watch a solo tear stream down your face and I would just be laughing.
So where was I? Okay, first party studio section and development. And that PS5 dev kits are out and are being spoken of very favorably. They like them. They like the PS5 dev kits.
I guess it's better.
I like new computers too.
Right? Yeah. What was it? The only time was it the PS2 dev kits that people were like, God, no, I don't want to do it.
Yeah, there was a PS3 dev kit.
It might have been the PS3 one. There was one of the, I think it might have, PS3 where they're like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
No, don't make me, Dad. I don't want to do it.
Do you remember, I think it was the Xbox 360 dev kit was just power. It was like a Mac G5 or something like that.
Yeah. It was really weird. But $12.5 billion.
And just for
revenue,
PlayStation Network.
Which is more than Nintendo's total revenue and more than Microsoft's entire gaming division.
Yeah. It's interesting.
A lot of money.
That is a lot of money. Just from PlayStation Network. That doesn't even include their like 90 fucking million consoles or whatever they sold.
Yeah. Just the online stuff.
It's crazy. They got that fuck you money.
What's that? You want to try to sue us? Bitch, I got the money. Number 7. There's rumors swirling that Nintendo may be releasing another SKU of the Switch console. One might even think it was a mini version. In classic Nintendo fashion, the rumor suggests that they have an oddly specific purpose in mind: playing outdoors. I'm not really sure how the outdoors factor in, but the new SKU may lack certain features to cut costs like the docking station and removable Joy-Cons. The Japanese news outlet that broke the rumors also stated that they're considering using a different display more in line with smartphones. Give me that OLED.
I was thinking a smaller display.
Give me that too. No, I mean, you'd have to if you're trying to make a smaller kit. There's no reason if you're going to go to not detach the Joy-Cons and everything when you can already take the damn Switch outside.
Yeah. That was a weird statement. I can't remember the name of the Japanese.
My guess would be that they say that they want to be able to say to play outdoors, air quotes, because they want to make it more water resistant, where having all those sliding parts can make it more susceptible to damage and stuff like that. So they could be making a Nokia, whatever it was, the shock-proof Switch. You drive over the thing with a car and whip it against a tree. So that way when you get really angry playing arms with your buddy, you just take your Switch and whip it at him. There's a lot of possibilities if they give me a rugged Switch.
There was another little news thing.
Kid beats me in Pokemon, I just huck it across the airport and smack him in the dome.
I'd go through so many Switches, man.
I would just be whipping up at people.
There was another.
Honestly, I'd sit in your living room, we'd play a quick game, and I would just, no.
I'd lose so much at the Mario games, I'd probably just go through one a week.
You just look at it, and you just look at your opponent and snap the Switch in half over your knee, and you're like, I got another one in the closet, but I needed to do that.
There was another news article that kind of influenced this one that suggested that, it didn't suggest, it said that Nintendo didn't meet their sales forecast for the Switch console.
I think they also shot high, though.
They must have shot real fucking high.
I think they were shooting super high, but that they're still on stupidly good pace.
Yeah, they are. But that was one of the reasons that was rumored for them, exploring the idea of another SKU was that they might be able to, grab more people if they had more portable, a option that was more portable. What was the other weird thing about Nintendo this week that I can't remember now? I don't know. Whatever. We'll just move on. Let's see here. 8. Nintendo. Go ahead. Nintendo has announced that they will be bringing Dr. Mario World to Android and iOS devices in early summer. Nintendo said that the game will be, quote, free to download with optional in-game purchases, end quote. Nintendo is co-developing the game with the Japanese developer Line, who is known for the messaging app of the same name.
Oh, Mario! Oh, that's Mickey.
That was Mickey.
Yeah. Mario. That's Luigi.
Mario.
Luigi's Mansion, man. Some of the greatest Marios.
How do you have in-app purchases for Dr. Mario World?
I don't know what Dr. Mario World is. I'm pretty sure Dr. Mario is closer to like a Tetris game.
Yeah, it's like a color matching game or something.
Yeah,
like
but I don't know what Dr. Mario World would be. But maybe it's like Candy Crush, because doesn't Candy Crush have in-app purchases? So if you did like you had levels or whatever, but then you bought like more lives. So I guess you would do it. God, I hate being able to figure out a developer like this because it just pains me. But say you had X amount of lives, right? So you can play 3 levels a day, or whatever. You have 3 lives a day to beat however many levels you can in those 3 lives. And then once you run out, that last one starts a 24-hour cooldown period. But you could give me $5 right now, and I'll give you 10 more lives. Like, that is perfect. In terms of, like, you can still play for free. You don't have to give me money. But you want to keep playing? Like, right now? Give me $2. Just tickle my fancy.
Give me $2. $3.50.
$3.50. Bonus points if they said $3.50.
$3.50.
You got that $3.50? You got that $3.50, Dr. Mario?
I don't know if you want to talk about the next one or not.
I kind of want to just hint on it.
Okay.
So I'll do what I need to here. Number 9. Number 9. The Xbox Super Bowl ad seems to be focusing on adaptive controller. Thanks for noticing me.
I read an article just now. I can go into detail if you
go. Yeah, go ahead and go into a little detail. That's my Eeyore, by the way. My Eeyore gets really just kind of quiet, which is why it's hard because Eeyore's not loud.
Eeyore's not loud. He's very monotone.
Yep, thanks for noticing me. It's a Friday, just like every other Friday, Christopher. Matt's gonna tell me about a controller that I would need because of heffalumps.
Eeyore's my favorite.
Eeyore's the jam because he's depressive.
Yeah.
And I can respect that. Not this shitty optimistic bear.
Yes. Or this fucking too energetic tiger thing.
Yeah, a T-I-double-G-er. Come on, who spells it like that? How do you spell G? You know how hard that is? That's like 4 letters. Double? That's like 6 more. I can't rant about Winnie the Pooh.
I don't know. You're doing a pretty good job. Apparently the commercial is going to focus on a group of kids who have disabilities, obviously, and they use the controller to play games, and it's like just kind of like follows their story a little bit.
I've been waiting for like the perfect moment to say "oh bother," but I just
oh bother. No, I don't know. Like
it's an interesting one because I feel like it's a niche market, but it's also an important market.
Yeah.
Because it's a big statement to say that you're willing to spend money on that. You're not if your announcement is that you're spending money on promoting your adaptive controller to say that, hey, everybody can play games versus, hey, look at Terry Crews and Crackdown. That's a big message. It's also saying Crackdown's going to suck because we haven't heard anything about it. And that is like, there's 2 potential problems with Crackdown. Now, I'm not going to take away from, I'm going to go back to the adaptive controller, but there's 2 potential problems with Crackdown. it's either so bad that they don't want to talk about it and just get it out there finally, or it's so good that they purposely aren't saying anything to grab all the stuff of like, why didn't we hear anything? This game's amazing. So they're literally razor's edge flipping coins here.
My takeaway was that it was like an ultra safe marketing for them. Like you can't attack an ad
right
about giving people hardware on disabled people.
You can't do that, but Nationwide also had one of the worst commercials I've ever seen at a Super Bowl for discussing children accidents and like the TV falling on a baby and stuff like that. Like, yes, those are all very real things, and TVs crushing children are actually stupidly high in terms of like infant mortality problems because they waddle up to the TV and they like pull on something or whatever, and it just brings the TV on top of them. But there was toddler baby death. This is midway through the game whenever this was happening. Toddler baby death, somebody drowning in a tub. Like, there were so many just deaths. Everybody's just like, what the fuck is Nationwide doing? I think it was Nationwide. I might be speaking ill of Nationwide. It might not have been them. But I'm pretty positive it was Nationwide. You're just like, why? And now, for them, so hopefully they don't do something like that. But it's a big move. I don't remember what we said the price of the controller was. It was like 100 something? 200? 99. Oh, yeah. Wow, 99.
Yeah, that's kind of the...
So you're going to tell me that a $100 controller with what we know is ridiculous function, even if you're not, say you're a parent to that situation and that person wants to play video games, perfect. This works perfectly. But say you're a hospital that you've never heard of this.
Yeah.
And you have kids that want to, you can't tell me you can't get that? Like there's so many.
I think Xbox actually makes like the game carts.
I don't know. I think Xbox specifically, but there's a bunch of people that make though. I don't remember if they're not crash carts. I can't remember what they call them.
For lack of a better term, they're crash cart for video
built
games.
like a crash cart, but there's actually a name for them.
Yeah, I can't remember what they're called either.
It's not game cart, but it's they look like crash carts, but they're portable, so you can move them around room to room for kids to play video games on while they're getting treatments for chemo or whatever they are in there for, and they're awesome. Those are like really sweet things. And then, Bobby can't play because he has whatever disability or whatever. Oh no, we just have the adaptive. We just plug in this adaptive controller, and he can still do it too. And you're like, perfect.
Yeah.
So cool thing, I think.
Yeah. So the whole from what I read, the concept of the trailer is essentially like there's a couple kids who, basically they talk about how they just took it as a fact of life that they weren't going to be able to participate in video games the way that other kids do because, they just didn't have options. And then they, Microsoft comes out with the controller and they get to use the controller. And then it's basically like how this device, which $99 for this thing is insane. Like,
that is...
They have to be taking a loss on making this thing.
Because here's the funny part for anybody that doesn't know. Getting a blue Xbox controller is $70.
Yeah.
For $30 more, I have one that has how many stupid functions in it?
I think it has like 35 different ports.
35 different ports.
So you could hook up 35 different accessories.
You can like play with your mouth and there's so many so much technology and innovation in that thing. To say that it costs $30 more than a color tint on a controller is insane to me.
Yeah.
And I agree. They have to be taking a loss.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no way they're not. So they talk about basically how the adaptive controller has let them play like a normal, kid or person would, and then obviously you see them playing and however they need to essentially to play the game, and
it brings them into the conversation. Yeah.
It's supposed to be like from what I read of what the commercial is going to be, it's supposed to be basically like an uplifting like story essentially. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it. Actually, I think it could be. I mean, it's from an objective point of view, it's a really good idea for Microsoft because it's really safe marketing. There's no downside to it.
Yeah,
at all.
You basically can't go wrong.
Yeah, if they went with like a crackdown gameplay, You don't know.
See a thief. Like you're risking anything right there. The only way you could do it would be like to say Xbox Game Pass. Like that's the only way you could do an advertisement for an Xbox Game Pass.
But it's boring.
But that's it. And you've already done that so many. You can't really. You want to hit them with something that you haven't, that I know of, advertised on that big of a stage yet. Because the adaptive controller is a very niche thing.
Yeah.
Put it in front of arguably, I think statistically, even though I don't like the stats, the biggest sporting event of period.
Yeah. I'm curious to see the commercial. I'm curious to see what happens, like what the response is to it as well.
Yeah. I also wouldn't be surprised if it does get swept under the rug.
Yeah.
And only we hear about it because we're in the gaming stuff and people are responsive to that. But also that people are going to be like, dude, you see that Doritos commercial with the monkey? Like,
yeah. I think people like that's the interesting thing is like, obviously I work in retail and I've talked to a couple sets of parents who have been in a situation to where like their kids like games, but they aren't capable of holding a controller or whatever. And I'm like, let me tell you about this thing. And they're like, are you serious? This thing exists.
Yeah,
I'm let me show you.
Have you told me about the Fountain of Youth?
Yeah, right.
El Dorado is real. Like, yes, I've given you a holy grail.
What would be interesting, and this is like pie in the sky, never going to happen, is if they made the adaptive controller work for other consoles. Like, however they would need to do that.
Be funny if they're like, you can just plug it into your PlayStation, it's going to work.
Yeah. Yeah. If they did that,
because
people would probably ship, like, inside the gaming community, people would ship bricks.
Yeah, because it's almost an insult to the other ones if they do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like, it's not because they're trying to do it to help people, but at the same time, it's like, listen, they're not going to help, we'll do it.
Yeah.
And you're just like, holy shit, Microsoft Humanitarian Award, go!
Best Company Award.
Nobel Peace Prize. For Uniting Disabled Gamer. I don't know. That's a really weird. I don't know if there's a peace prize for that, but yeah, why not? Obama got one.
The special Nobel Prize.
No, now you're going too far.
All right, number 10. Anthem demo. I figured we'd touch on that real quick. But first off, there was some leaked screenshots of the Anthem, I don't know what you want to call it, microtransaction store. And it turned some gamers off because they were using their in-game currency. And it translated to roughly $20 for a set of armor. Like, and not like a skin, we'll say. Which is, I think, fair to say is high.
In case anybody's curious, that's really fucking high. That's too damn high. That rent is too damn high.
So,
and they're only at the tip. They're halfway up.
Cram them in.
EA's going to the tippy top of the mountain.
So, BioWare responded and said, that's a pre-release thing. The prices aren't set. We're still adjusting. Blah 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 blah. Go ahead.
Well, it depends. What do you want to say next?
I was gonna just go straight into the chart.
Okay. Go to the chart and then I'll roll back on your comment about what BioWare said.
All right. The other thing that people are kind of taking jabs at, rightfully so, is EA, BioWare, whatever you want to, whoever made this thing, released a chart for Anthem's. I guess this would be its release schedule, because there's so many different versions of the game that they needed a chart to show you when the game was going to be available to play.
If you guys remember, back in October/November, we did the same thing for Battlefield 5 because they can't fucking get their heads out of their ass. So we're doing it again.
This is the I think this is like the downside to having the subscription services, is by trying to put incentives on the service, you're creating these situations. So
that is not, I don't agree. I agree and don't agree with what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. I think this is a piss poor way of doing it. Let me say that.
I will agree, yes. This is a joke.
Yes.
But it is not as hard as they are making it.
Yeah. I think
To do it correctly, even with a subscription service, this is not as hard as they're making it. And I say that.
I think they're adding more weight on this whole idea that people want to play games before other people. Like,
which is true. Mm-hmm. Everybody loves being the exclusive guy. But, well, go ahead and get through the chart, and then I'll tell you how they should have done it.
So essentially, they have it listed out: the standard pre-order version, the Legion of Dawn pre-order version, EA Access for Xbox One, Origin Access Basic for PC, and Origin Access Premier for PC. They all have demo access on the first because obviously it was a free demo, open demo. And then Origin Access Premier has early full game access on February 15th.
In case anybody's curious, you're looking at him. Because I'm Premier, baby. Listen to that ego get boosted. I'm who they're after. I gave them $15. I get to play early.
Let's see here. You get to play trial, the first trial, 10-hour trial on February 15th if you are Origin Access Basic on PC or EA Access for Xbox One. So you got 3 versions there that get early access, but
there's also, real quick, there's a giant problem with this graphic. I hope you catch it as you're talking.
It's just the graphic in general is a mess.
Well, the graphics, first off, the graphics from EA or / BioWare, there's a giant problem with it in logic if you keep reading. You'll see what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Just look at where check marks are and where they aren't. But
oh, yeah.
Continue. That doesn't make sense.
Okay. Actually, it kind of does.
It doesn't. It doesn't. Keep going, though.
Okay. Do they have game access, though? Full game access? Because I know on Xbox, you just get a 10-hour trial.
That's true. You might not have full game access with that.
This is
once again.
Oh, my God.
Once again, I will tell you how they can fix it, but continue.
So, to recap here, EA Access for Xbox One, Origin Access Basic for PC, get a 10-hour trial. And then we move on to just the normal game release. So your standard edition and Legion of Dawn edition, and Origin Access Premier gets the full game release. But according to this graph, I don't know how accurate this is. If you have EA Access through Xbox One and Origin Access Basic, you don't get the full game. You just get your 10-hour trial, and that's it. Yeah. How do we fix this, Nate?
I'm glad you asked, Matthew. So the first column we can throw out, because that's just the open beta.
Yeah, that was stupid.
So the second column we leave. The second column, the only reason we leave it is because that's the highest tier that they offer to pay. And I don't think that is available on Xbox. I don't think there's an Xbox EA Access Premier, air quotes.
There isn't.
So that tier stays. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
You move the play first trial over to the full game column. You don't give them the full game. You still tell them it's still a play first trial, but just put it out at the same time. Why do you need to put it on a different date? Just put it out at the same time. It's the exact same freaking thing. And then even then, here's what you really do. You don't make it part of that. You don't make it part of the $5 thing, right? You don't say, oh, play first for 10 hours on this. You just have an EA account with me. I'll let you play 3 hours of the demo for free. You know what I mean? Just have an EA account, play a 3-hour full game demo. You can't beat that game in 3 hours. And if they do it like Need for Speed did, Need for Speed was still a 10-hour demo, except you ran into a wall where it said you need to purchase the full game to continue. So if you're still going to do that anyway, just give it to me for free for 10 hours or for 3 hours on the same day of launch, and then go, oh, but because you have Origin Access, right? Because you're giving me the $5 bone, we'll cut your price down. We'll still give you you get the Origin discount, so you can still get them in, but just shrink it down to 2 days. Or Origin Access Premier on PC and everybody else. That's it. It's not hard. But EA loves to have their way with things.
Did EA Access originally started on Xbox before it was on PC,
correct.
Right? Okay. Now that I'm looking at like the layout now, it seems really weird that they launched on Xbox and didn't launch on PC.
I think they launched on Xbox. Oh boy, I could get in trouble for this. I don't know if I'm right, but yes, I think they launched on Xbox first because that was an announcement at E3, and then we were sitting at E3 during EA's conference. We weren't at E3 obviously, but we were listening to E3 during EA's conference, and they said, and we are working on bringing Origin access everywhere.
Yeah,
because I think they had they had the deal with, because it's not on PlayStation.
No.
So they had the deal with Xbox. They're like, hey, you guys should do this with us. It'll be kind of like Game Pass. You can test it out here. And they went, okay, cool. And then they went, wait a second, we also have this PC thing. Oh, just give them. Oh, perfect. And then they finally did it.
Yeah. Yeah, do you want to talk about the demo? Have you played it anymore? Do you want to reiterate your thoughts from last time?
What I wanted to say about the BioWare thing, with
Okay.
what they addressed as we're still working on it, we're still making tweaks.
Yeah.
Does that not worry you? We are now 14 days from that game being released, technically, for Origin Access Premier, guys, which is a live release. That is the build of the game. And they are all going, even with this demo, I don't know if you had the server problems that were going live, that were happening during the premiere weekend that I was playing during.
I had server problems, yeah.
There were shit tons of server problems.
There's still a known server issue where you get stuck at 95%.
The loading screen hang.
That's still there.
So they're being public, which is what everybody wants, which is good. They're still being public and being like, hey, we're working on it. We see these things. We're trying to fix it. You're running this 2 weeks beforehand. You want to talk about a definition of crunch time being a problem in the gaming industry? Holy shit, are you staring at it?
So I played...
It's not like it's not finished. They just have giant problems, I think, in terms of like a 95% loading screen that forces you to quit the game and relaunch it.
I don't think it's finished in the sense that it needs more polish as in balance. It needs balancing. It needs that type of work.
It needs
like the server issue
technical
stuff.
And not cosmetic in terms of prettiness, because the game looks beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It just needs even balance is, I don't know if that's the right word I want to use, but just balance.
It needs tweaks because
it's
like
tweaks.
The controls are fucked up on PC.
The controls the game is 100% not designed for a keyboard and mouse.
Yeah.
Which is
it's kind of weird because I ran into this problem where like,
and its menus are disgusting.
The controller is better, obviously, than the keyboard and mouse.
Right.
Hands down.
Easily.
The issue with the controller
keyboard and mouse is nicer to shoot with, but that's just for somebody that's used to a keyboard and mouse. But the moment you have to move, I want to pick up a controller.
Yeah. The other issue I have, though, is that, like, it doesn't... All the abilities you have, like your options for grenades, your special abilities, your dodge and stuff like that, doesn't necessarily lend itself well to the controller because there's a lot going on. Like, there's a lot of options.
Right.
And either I haven't looked into it, but either it's just not mapped well, or it's just it fits better on keyboard. It's the mouse that I have an issue with.
It's funny that you say it fits better on a keyboard. I think it fits better on a keyboard. The mouse one doesn't seem too bad, though. There's a lot of weird thing like
there's like a lot of weird acceleration and deceleration going on.
And there's some weird mappings. You're not wrong. There's definitely some weird mappings, but it's not that bad. The default mappings for PC are, in my preferences, horrid.
Yeah?
Because they're like, oh yeah, your one equipment thing's over here, but your other equipment thing's over here, but your other one's over there. And if you want to swap weapons, you have to hit one of these buttons or do this thing and then do that. Oh, and by the way, we have this holding thing down mechanic now, so you can't just hit a button. And I'm like,
it's funny you mentioned that because I didn't even get that far to where I had swap weapons. And now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know how they would map that on a keyboard. Like how they would map it.
Tab.
What? It's tab. Okay.
Tab or scroll wheel. You can scroll wheel.
I mean, granted, they're going for least common denominator, so they're probably not going to map things to like thumb buttons and stuff like that.
Right, which makes sense. But I immediately went in and put my two equipment on my thumb button, put my melee on my middle mouse button, shoot, aim, WASD.
Yeah.
Alt is on Q. The other ability is on Z. My dash dodge is on control. My sprint's on shift. Like, I had to just make sure there was a few things that just didn't make sense. I'm like, even if you were mapping this differently, I'm like, why that way? Like,
I have so many development questions. Mainly, they center around the idea of why didn't they ask DICE for some help with how to do the
PC controls,
and specifically like the mouse acceleration deceleration thing.
Just walk over to DICE and go, "Oh, you guys make Battlefield really well on PC. How do you control a person on a PC?"
Yeah.
They'll tell you. They do it really well. And even then, you can swap between a controller just fine and everything works fine.
They'd probably just be like, hey, this is how you should map everything. Don't do any of that nasty mouse acceleration.
Oh, and also, why are you guys holding down escape in a menu? Stop that. They know what they're hitting. Not to mention that your quit game option is in settings. So you open up a menu. There's 3 tabs, which their menus are painful. They hurt me. They physically assault me.
They are bad.
I will show you on the doll where he touched me.
You see what you want to click on, but you can't click on it until you click on this thing over here, and then you can.
So when I was scrolling through my video settings and stuff, and like my mouse sensitivity, I'm like, okay, cool. So mouse sensitivity, and I'm highlighting it, like not clicking on it. I'm just highlighting over it, and I see it pop up on the side. I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, 30%. All right, go up. It's not going. Why isn't this going anywhere? Audio. Oh, that's not doing it. What am I doing? And I'm finally like, okay, go back, click on that setting. Oh, now the menu's there. Don't show me the menu if I didn't click on it then. You're alluding to something I can't do. Then you're going to tell me that I have to hit escape, which doesn't bring up just like a quit game settings, yada yada menu, like the normal one where it's just 3 buttons where it's like change your settings, quit game. Easy enough. It's no, exit, go over to your settings tab, and at the bottom of the settings one is quit game. That's not a setting.
It's so counterintuitive to every other video game's like menu system that whenever I went in to make an adjustment and it didn't respond the way I thought it would, I was like, am I stupid? And then you make the realization, oh, I have to click this over here for some reason. You're like, this is terrible.
When you go into the first off, when you're walking around in whatever that city is, I'd rather die. Let me sprint.
You know what that is? That's BioWare's fucking Mass Effect elevator. That whole place.
But it's not loading anything.
I know. You're just like, let me do this slow walk everywhere.
I'm gonna go talk to the guy that splits himself in 3.
How many buttons did you hit trying to look for the sprint button when you were walking through?
I hit everything on my keyboard.
I was slamming keys. I
opened up a console and I was like, what if I type sprint? Like, can I cheat? And the fact that they don't let you to sprint in there.
Yeah.
Destiny learned that real quick and fixed that. You should fix that. You're also trying to emulate Division. Whether or not they'll admit it, I don't care. But you have a loot system that is bad. Why are you ending? All right, I'm going to start from the beginning. Why, when you end a mission, do I have 2 seconds? I kill the final boss. It pops and goes, mission over in 2, 1, load screen. What? There is loot on the ground that you're telling me I need to run over. Do I not need to do that? Does loot auto pick up? Why are you dropping orbs then? Just give me the loot. Either have me pick it up or don't have me pick it up.
Yeah.
One or the other. And then 2, why are you going mission end, 2, 1, end? Like, what? No, you can say mission end and then don't let me go anywhere in the game. But like, okay, so I have to air quotes, clean up my inventory, walk around, pick up the stuff, kind of talk, give me a 30-second timer. That's pretty good. Then you're going to have me go into an inventory system that I can't change on the fly. I have to go back to the fucking sprintless area, go to a forge. In the forge, equip a second gun, which it is not clear which ones you equip. There becomes a chain link according to the gun, like in the corner of the gun, when you equip it, that allows you to not salvage it anymore, which is weird and I don't understand. It doesn't say like, oh, if you equip this, it binds to you, and the only way you can do it is to sell it. No, you should be able to sell. It doesn't make sense. Then you... I'm going to lose my breath. Then you go through all these, there's all these other options, like, oh yeah, so there's all this. They don't sort your guns, by the way. Really weird. They just go, here's all your guns. They don't go, here's all your guns. By the way, they're broken down by LMG, SMG, a machine pistol, regular pistol, sniper rifle. They're like, no, they're all there. You figure it out at this point. There's some colors on them to tell you what ones might be better. Blue, green, and white. Like, whoo! And then you get into there's the equipments that don't really, I mean, if you read them, you can kind of get what they do, but sometimes there's not even like specific numbers on them, so you're like, I don't really know if it's an actual trade that I want to do. Then I had something that I had equipped, right? I had equipped it. I had the same exact thing, a duplicate of it in my inventory, like 2 white shields or something like that. I equipped one, and then I hovered over the exact same one to the left of it. It says it's an upgrade in every single stat, because it doesn't have a way to say that it's just even. It was either not an upgrade or an upgrade. So I'm pretty sure they did greater than or equal to upgrade. And it's like, no, that's not how that works. That is not an upgrade. So then I'm swapping back and forth constantly because they both say they're upgrades of each other. And I'm like, I don't understand anymore. Their color menu, fine. Even though getting to where it says paint is a nightmare.
I was just going to ask, have you tried changing what your javelin looks like?
Yes, and you can do it. You have to go into appearance. Then you'll see that there's a bunch of different appearances tabs where you can like, oh, I can change my helmet to look like a different style helmet, but that's not where I changed the paint event. Oh, down on my left leg it says paint. Okay, paint. Oh, now I can only do, painful, but it's understandable. There's a lot of options, and it takes a bit to figure that one out. Still not well done. But you're going through this whole javelin thing, and you're like, why is this in your menus? Then the fucking inventory system lags. So on default PC, it's hold F to salvage.
Yeah.
And you hover the item. You don't even click the item. You just hover the item and hold F to salvage. Oh, your mouse wasn't on the right spot when you hit F to salvage? It's gone. And it's gone. Also, you happen to move your mouse off of one piece onto another and then immediately hit F. F won't trigger. It takes like 3 seconds to figure out that, oh, it's hovering a new item now. And now we'll let it. And now we'll let it go. Okay, salvage. It's almost as if there are 16 factory workers, and when you hit a button, the 16th one down the line went, what did he do? And then that went daisy-chained back out the line when it got to the first person and went, he hit F. And then it went all the way back down the other 16 people, and they went, oh, he's got to hold it. And then they went back up the chain, and the person's like, hey, you should really hold F now. Like, I'm on a different item now. Oh, it was so painful. Walking around in there and not being able to run, cancerous. Oh, that just irritated the shit out of me. Because nothing is close. Like, yeah. It's in air quotes close. It would be close if I was allowed to run.
Yeah.
It would also be understandable if you were actually loading something.
Mm.
So where they trick you in the Division, when you have to, all of a sudden you're forced to a walk for a maybe 20-foot hallway because they're loading the next area to you. That makes sense. Mm-hmm. I'm in the area. You're not loading anything. Let me run.
Yeah. There's nothing to distract you from how slow you're walking. Like if it was a populated area and
there's no HUD
and there was things going on, you know, like there was something to look at while you were walking.
There's no HUD.
Yeah. It's rough. What was the other thing? There was something else. The combat with how everything's just a bullet sponge. It's very
there's no intelligence.
There isn't, and I made the realization while I was playing where they're not trying to be like Destiny. They're trying to be like, I guess, like Diablo or something, where it's just like, here's a ton of fucking dudes you have to kill.
Here's a loot fest.
Yeah,
which is why I say it's still akin to to Division.
Yeah,
because Division is a loot fest, but better in every aspect, except that you can't fly, like you're not in space mechs. Like It does loot better, it does guns better, it does movement better, it does enemies better.
I don't know about movement.
I have less problems switching between keyboard and mouse on Division than I did on but I wasn't running into a flying situation in Division.
Yeah.
I wasn't like, oh, I now need to try to fly somewhere. I want to throw up trying to do this in a keyboard and mouse because it's uncontrollable. The swimming, which luckily you didn't do, is fucking horrid on a keyboard and mouse.
Yeah. Well, I abandoned the keyboard and mouse almost immediately. So
there's a reason I had my controller plugged in the entire time I was playing. The night after you saw it. Mm-hmm. I played again and played through the entire thing. And I played the Stronghold too. Yeah. And the Stronghold, there's the other thing, right? So you remember the first Division like a boss, not in the story, like that first raid that they did.
Yeah.
Where you had to take out that APC,
mm-hmm.
and you had to do it by running up, placing a bomb, like unless you cheesed it at a certain point, which was everybody boosting up support scores and then sniping it forever. But you had to get the bomb, run it up, and like there are mechanics. It was a raid. It was like a mini raid.
Yeah,
it was good. I did the stronghold in the beta.
Was it the one that you
big old motherfucking?
Yeah, I did it as well.
Scorpion spider thing. Yeah.
Shoot the queen.
Oh, look,
queen scampers away. You shoot her minions that come out of, this over here.
It was Destiny with a walker.
Yeah.
You just shoot the legs or shoot the sacks. They explode. Oh, I need to shoot the other one. And it's dead. Okay, cool. Mm-hmm. Difficulty is not supposed to just be, hey, we added 17 more enemies. You don't just number things. You make things difficult, like method-wise and yada yada. There were moments when you're going, like when you're flying there, that you might be getting like caught in spider webs and stuff, and it like slows you down. And it's like, okay, cool. That's like a prelude to the mechanic that's going to happen. Is at one point they'll like web us. We need to use our defensive abilities because when she webs us, she's going to do like some AOE thing, and we need to pop our defensive abilities to try to stay alive through it while we try to fly away, and then we come back. Oh no, you just shoot her. I'm like, you have potential, and you just went, fuck it.
Yeah, so it's got problems.
And you guys think this is the long rant that I was talking about all this episode? We haven't even started.
The moral of the story is that it's not perfect. But, yeah. Where are we at? What's next? What do you want to talk about next?
Well, here's the problem with what's next.
Oh, I forgot that we had this week.
What's next is Nate got angry on Monday because Nate read a Circle Jerk Gamers Rise Up thread on the Reddits that I would read you what I wrote, but it's so jumbled by rage it doesn't make sense.
I thought it was all right.
So I'll read it. Number 11, the final talking point of this week. So, at some point this week, with the news of Metro Exodus deciding to jump ship from Steam and go to the Epic Store on a 1-year exclusive deal, spawned some backlash inside communities of the internet. As we all know, the internet can be, and usually is, a large echo chamber, so you may have seen, quote, Epic bad, Steam good, end quote. That's my play on praise Gaben. I have some problems with each, but looking at what the internet seemed to be screaming about, they apparently... I'm fucking Shatnering the hell out of this.
You were, very much.
I have some problems with each, but looking at what the internet seemed to be screaming about, they apparently forgot that Steam has a 15-year head start on cornering the market. I'm going to run through some facts below that are actual differences, and then we'll get to opinions. Mind you, I don't give a shit about Steam. Granted, I have, 400 games on there? Which everybody seems to forget are licenses, people. You do not own them. That's what the DRM problem is. That being said, I don't give a shit about any of this. They're all companies. We'll move on. We will be better. Fact number 1. Epic is yet another launcher. These aren't even facts. I'm just reading things now at this point. Epic is yet another launcher to enter the fray. Steam, GOG Galaxy, Origin, Uplay, Battle.net, Twitch, Discord, Bethesda. So Epic's jumping in on all of that. And there are more. Those are just the ones that I could think of. What did I forget here? The Microsoft Store. Itch.io, I think, might have one. Epic, the Epic Store, has secured The Division 2. And no one really cried because it wasn't on Steam like Metro Exodus. Oh, excuse me, Metro Exodus was. The last big publisher still attached to Steam seems to be 2K. EA left, Ubisoft left, Activision left, Blizzard never needed them, Bethesda left, and CD Projekt is probably leaving soon. They own GOG.
Do they?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't know that.
Witcher initially launched there. That's where my key is on.
Huh.
My key for Witcher's on GOG.
Yeah, but you can get Steam keys from them.
Now
right?
you can.
Now you can.
All the pre-order keys, I believe, for most part, were on GOG, and they had to issue an apology for it. Because they're like, oh, all of a sudden they dropped that, but CD Projekt Red does no wrong.
Yeah.
Move it on. Steam has roughly 30,000 games, which we all know from basic elementary math. 30,000 is greater than roughly 2 dozen. Epic has a review system in the works, but is an opt-in for the developers to allow reviews on their games. This is said to prevent review bombing, which just happened to Metro Exodus on Steam. The Epic Games Store now includes regional pricing for over 230 countries. Now, that's a big one because that one seemed to get announced after everybody else started kind of freaking out.
Because of the pricing of
before,
Exodus?
Yes, because Exodus went from... I'll let you talk on the Exodus thing while I pull this up, but the Exodus went to $50 on the Epic Store, but not in all regions. Like Europe, it was still whatever the normal price was. And they're like, yeah, Epic doesn't have regional pricing. Well, then Epic went and made regional pricing in 230 countries.
Yeah.
So they're...
It's almost like two different philosophies of the at play here.
And I'm going to get into more stuff from people, but it's so many people screaming in echo chambers like, Steam is so much better. I'm not going to ever go to Epic, yada, yada, yada. This is anti-consumer, which is such a horseshit argument. This isn't competition. No, this is literally competition. You guys are idiots. There's so much at stake that it's just so annoying sometimes to hear people. And usually it's a lot of older people. I say older people. It's our age and above where it's people that are like, Fortnite's so dumb and stupid. And it's like, Fortnite makes stupid money that they would be silly not to try to do stuff like this. The problem, I think, is Deep Silver, who owns the publishing rights for Metro, to do what they did.
Yeah.
And I'll let you go for that while I pull this up.
Yeah, essentially, I think what irritates me about the situation is that Metro Exodus was on the Steam storefront for about I think it was a year or so. They were on Steam advertising, getting pre-orders, and Steam is hands down the largest PC gaming community for selling games. That's
period. That's not debate.
It's not even close. So they used, I don't want to say that they used because that's insinuating, but they were on Steam for a year advertising, and they had front page coverage for a good amount of that time.
Yeah, I mean they were featured at multiple E3s. I mean,
and then this is from a U.S. perspective. I'm going to throw that out there because of the regional pricing thing. It's very specific. It was on Steam for $60, $59.99. They announced that they're leaving. They jump to Epic. They say they're gonna, give people a game on Steam. They're gonna honor the pre-orders, all that good stuff. But then they move to the Epic Store and they market it at $50. So if I'm a frugal consumer, which generally I try to be, and I didn't have any allegiance or moral, an overly active moral compass, I would cancel my pre-order with Steam and go over to the Epic Store and save $10 because why wouldn't you? It doesn't hurt you any. That's, I think, part of the issue with some people. And then, obviously it snowballs and gets redonkulous.
So there's a few things. You did mention that Steam is still being honored, right?
Yeah. Yep. They're still honoring the pre-orders.
Right. So, I mean, this is the one instance, I guess, where pre-ordering doesn't hurt you, right? It's also funny. One of my biggest problems with it was a bunch of comments I was seeing that were like, I was ready to buy the game day one, but now I just guess I'm going to put on my eye patch and get my parrot out and become a pirate. And I'm like, if you wanted Metro and you're so adamantly against Epic, for whatever reason. There are reasons I can understand, and I will get there. Why would you hurt the Metro guys by getting the game illegally? Like, that just seems really convoluted logic. If you're such a big fan of it, you want to give them money. That part doesn't make sense to me. Because it's a 1-year exclusive deal.
Yeah.
It's still going to happen. And even if you said for some, like, if you're a big fan of it, I guess kind of weird you didn't pre-order, but I understand because I do go against pre-ordering. Like, that's just the thing.
Mm-hmm.
But
I can see it's like a case of entitlement.
It
where
really
like
is. That's the problem with the anti-consumer argument. It's all entitlement.
Yeah, so like it sucks. You know, like if you want the game but you don't want to support Epic,
you're stuck.
You're stuck. You have to deal with it. And
on PC.
Yeah. So like you either have to, you know, come to terms with that, or you can be a pirate, I guess, and go pirate the game. But you're hurting your own investment to get another Metro. Yeah,
by pirating it.
That's where the entitlement comes in. Like if you go pirate the game because you don't want to support Epic, you know, but you still want to play the game, like that's you being entitled, I feel. And I think that's kind of a core issue with gamers specifically, is that there's a lot of entitlement that goes on, and like people don't take to heart the whole idea of vote with your wallet. Like the whole idea is you are willing to sacrifice to make a point. And if you don't buy the game and go pirate it and then don't buy it later if they change it, you're not playing the game the way you should.
Technically shot yourself in the foot twice.
You're not doing yourself any favors. You're not getting across the point that you should.
Right, because the moment it comes back up on Steam, you should, in theory,
buy it.
Go buy that.
Yeah.
Well, I already played it. Why would I buy it? Because it's a logical statement that I feel myself becoming stupider.
Yeah.
More stupid? Who cares?
The stupider feeds into it, I guess.
Yeah, it does. So this is a Reddit post from a user I'm not going to mention. They raised 5 points. I'll say 7 points. Some of them I don't agree with, but I am going to read through them. This is all sarcasm, by the way. This person has completely written this in sarcastic tones.
All right, cool.
Because it is written as, here's why the Epic game launcher is better than Steam.
I saw that, but I didn't read it.
Right, so I'm gonna.
All right, let's do this. I'm curious.
It's some of them I agree with, and I will say where I do. But here we go. Number 1, Tencent owns 40% of Epic Games, making them a huge shareholder in the company. Not majority, but still, 40%'s big.
Yes.
Tencent also happens to be the biggest video game company on the planet. True. In other words, I'm confident that we're perfectly safe giving our information to a launcher that feeds user info to the Chinese government. Also, like 75-25 true. Tencent has a reputation above themselves of censorship and selling information to the Chinese government. Both of those things are
they're a Chinese
existing.
company, I'm assuming, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So both of those things are I can understand that as being a reason. Like, hey, I don't feel secure. Max just sneezed the devil out of him somewhere. I can understand that being a reason of, hey, I don't feel secure with that company's policies, which totally makes sense to me. I have not spent $1 in the Epic Store, so totally makes sense to me. I lied. I have. Hold on. Fortnite, way back.
Oh, I was like,
I didn't buy any.
Is there anything even on the Epic Store you can buy at this point?
I would buy Hades, but that's
Hades. All right.
So I can totally understand that. That is a relatively logical argument, albeit said at a boiled down tone.
Yeah.
Number 2, it is a developer and publisher friendly, since it gives more of a. This person's where they're wrong, but here we go. I said I would read it. It is a developer and publisher friendly, since it gives more of a cut to the devs. Epic's 12% versus Steam's 30% cut. Just ignore the fact, and this is, I'm already angry. Just ignore the fact that Valve said it would lower its usual 30% take to 25% for any games earning beyond 10 million, including game packages, DLC, in-game sales, and community marketplace game fees. Or the fact that the platform fee reduces further to 20% for earnings that surpass 50 million. In other words, it would only be an 8% difference in profit, and Steam would outsell Epic anyway, so it would end up as more profit for the devs and publishers. Just ignore all that. Is what he says. His math's wrong. You're basically asking Deep Silver to miss out on $7 million if they sold the exact same amount between the two platforms. So, and let's take a real easy look there, bud. Your math's off, but fine. Number 3. Exclusivity is the same as competition, obviously. Letting Metro Exodus sell in multiple stores would be terrible since Epic Games is obviously the superior breed. It would only humiliate everyone else. Steam has been a reliable, well-populated, and established distribution platform for too long. Don't you want to split up that obnoxiously large game library into separate launchers? Just download Epic Games Launcher and you can play a whole 20-plus games. Wow, plus it's got like 4 exclusives or something, and Fortnite. So, if you can't tell where this person stands, it's in the Steam camp with Gabe Newell. That being said, exclusivity is the same as competition is false and entitlement driven again. They're not. People have compared this to like, well, you don't just buy. There's not just milk in one grocery store. No, but Walmart's milk is not in Target. And that's a really important distinction to make. Games are milk. Which games are where is different. It is a competition for Epic and for Steam to bring users to their platform. Even if that means, in theory, air quotes, handicapping you.
So here's a good frame of reference. Do you think we would have games like God of War or...
Go for it. List all the Sony ones.
I was going to say, I'm not even going to go down that list, but all the God of War, Detroit, Last of Us, Uncharted. Do you think we would
Horizon.
have those games, which you could argue that those are some of the best games?
Period.
Do you think we'd have that quality of games if they weren't allowed, to just keep them on Sony platform? If they were just like, oh, there's a law that says we have to put every game on every platform.
Right. So the exclusivity is not competition. No, it is. It is. It's just I can understand where it's a poor form of competition because it's the same thing Yankees have been people that are not Yankees fans have been bitching about for years. They just buy championships. They just buy titles. Yeah, they buy the rights to the things you want, so you have to come to them.
Yeah.
That's a level of competition. Do you realize how many people Amazon owns?
In 5 years, odds are Xbox is going to be putting out games that will be saying, holy shit, these are some of the best games that have ever been made.
And they'll be stuck on Xbox.
Yep. And that will happen. We'll get those good games because there's good games on the Sony platform over there that Xbox users can't have, and they're going to start buying Sony consoles.
Right. Number 4. Epic Games Launcher has amazing benefits to users. 80 million accounts were compromised due to a security flaw that allowed hackers to log into accounts without needing a password. This means that you get free exposure online. Get ready to become rich and famous. If you don't want the free exposure, but why wouldn't you? Just contact customer service. They'll get back to you in a measly 5 months or so. Now, once again, relatively okay argument. They did have a giant security breach. We covered it. They have notoriously rough customer service. That's well documented. The immediate problem I have there, and I had with some other comments that delved into kind of that idea, was, somebody got into my account, they spent a ton of money. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk this through real quick. For anybody that isn't in the IT world, security and accessibility are on a sliding scale. If you want to secure your data, it needs to not be accessible. If you want the most accessible data, it needs to not be secure. You want to ideally sit 50-50. But sometimes you need to make a compromise in one direction or the other. So that's where stores come in that allow you to save credit cards. Should you do that? No. Fuck no. What do people do all the time? That. So what this person probably didn't have two-factor authentication on their account, on an account that allows you to do it. Here's the problem with two-factor authentication in the sense that does it. Epic does it through an email. Two-factor authentication through an email is garbage. Because if you are a shitty person and you use 3 passwords for everything, chances are the password that got compromised in the Epic account is the password that you used for the email attached to it. So they can just grab the email and log in, and there we go. It's gone. Oh, you saved your credit card or PayPal information to your account because you wanted to be able to buy that Fortnite skin whenever you wanted? You're an idiot. It's still on you. They should have better security, but you shouldn't save your cards. It's like walking into a hay barn, throwing a match into it, a lit match, and then when the fireman comes, go, why weren't you here sooner? Like, no, you lit the fire. Just don't throw the match, and you don't have the problem.
Yes.
But that's, I understand accounts getting compromised is bad. I don't want it to happen to me, but I also have everything turned on that I can security-wise. Do I wish they would move away from email? Yeah. Give me Authy or Google Authenticator or something like that. That's away from email that I have to pull out a physical another device for and click yes or enter a code, whatever. So yes, they could do it better. One of his last points. Feature-wise, yes, Steam might have some tiny advantages, but it's nothing important, really. Epic Games Launcher is only missing a few things, like cloud saves. It's not. User profiles, you have a username. Would you really look at user profiles on Steam? I feel like we're stretching things here. User reviews, I already discussed. That's an opt-in for dev, going to be an opt-in for devs. Because as we've seen, the user community abuses user reviews. Friend activity, they have a friends list. What do you mean friend activity? Forums, Reddit, you're posting it on one. Mod distribution. Okay.
Do you use any of that stuff on Steam?
I use the workshop for some stuff. The rest of it, everything that I've mentioned though, like my friends list if I need to message you, but mod distribute, I have Discord, so if anything, if you were logged into Discord, I'd message you there first before I would message you on Steam.
Yeah.
Mod distribution, okay, that makes sense, but Bethesda's and everything else, they're on Nexus or those other platforms, so are we like that? Groups. What?
I've never used a group.
I've never. Item trading. What? That's a thing? You're worried about your fucking collectible cards?
I was going to say, is he talking about the cards?
And you know how TF2 has its own market for cosmetics, stuff like that. But really, that's what we're complaining about? Library sorting.
That's a weird one.
Account sharing. I don't like security, but I want to give my account to somebody. Ooh, we're kind of being a little hypocritical here, but okay. Streaming to other devices. Okay, you're really going to tell me that the Steam link's good? Please don't. Please, just.
I tried to use that with Odyssey a while.
Yeah.
Like a week before I finished.
Laggy?
Yeah, it didn't work.
Yeah.
It was hardlined. I don't know what the deal is with that.
Broadcasting. Twitch.
Yeah.
Caffeine. Mixer. YouTube. Use an actual platform. Screenshot capture sharing. There's a print scheme button on your whatever. Controller support. They do have that. User created guides. The fucking internet. Wish lists. There's only 24 games. Like, we don't need them. We're fine. If you can't figure it out by looking at a list of 24 games, you don't need a wish list. Automatic refunds.
They're working on that.
They're working on it. Like, we're getting there. Achievements. Holy shit, who cares? But I need my achievement to tell me how good I was in a game. Shut up. Anti-cheat support. Okay, that's fair. I can't begrudge that one. But once again, I'm sure they're working on it. Third-party keys. I don't know really about that one. And then etc. Other than that stuff, it's pretty much, you can't play games offline on Epic Games Launcher. I believe they're working on that you can. But here's my favorite part. I mean, why would you want to anyway? It's not like offline games are worth playing anyway unless you're online. I'm confident Metro Exodus will be vastly more fun when you're online versus offline. You just argued about a shit ton of online features and then complained about an offline game. I get it that you want to be able to play games offline, but you just bitched about everything that's user profiles, automatic sharing, yada yada, anti-cheat support. It's all online shit. So the problem, I guess, is that if you're saying a game is always online, that can be a problem. We saw that with, what was it, Halo? It was always online. Like, there's certain things where you're like, okay, the game is a problem, but not the service, whatever. The refund policy is exactly like Steam, except it's not automatic, and you have to go on a browser and go to their website and contact customer support and wait 5 months. Oh, they can refuse refunds even if you meet the criteria. Okay, well, they can't in like Australia and stuff, but like we're getting there. My problem is Steam's refund policy is what, like we talked about when Epic switched theirs, is arguably the currently best one that there is for digital stuff. But digital refunds are a hard thing to get correct. The other problem is Epic Game Store has existed for how long? 3 months? So if I just do some quick math, right? 150 there, carry the 0, 1. So 100 and hold on. 12 there. I'm going to do this math real quick. I can definitely do this. 1, 2 is 3 is 0 is 5 is. So 180 months. Why does that sound way too low? 15 times 12? 4, 8. Oh, yeah. So 180 months. So we'll subtract 3. So 177 months is the lead that Steam has for existing and taking their time to do this stuff. Now, your counterpoint to me would be, but Nate, if you're going to try to release a launcher and compete with Steam right out the gate, shouldn't you have all the features that Steam has?
No.
In a perfect world. But no, you need
Steam's
to start
existed
somewhere.
For 15 years?
Roughly. Ballpark. So you need to start somewhere and then continue to iterate on that. You started Fortnite somewhere and then constantly iterate on that. So now that you've started this Epic Store, you need to constantly be making changes to it, making improvements. And they're constantly working on it. I have faith in. But it's just the circle jerky reactions that I can't. Holy fuck, have I gone on long? that I can't stand. I just want people to get kicked off their soapboxes. We all come back down and have a civil discussion about certain things, and somebody just doesn't go, "Oh my god, it's so shitty." Just do some research, actually look at some stuff. There's charts that I have in the doc that I'm not going to reference because they kind of are, both of them are done by different people on different days. So you can see where like one says it has cloud saves and the other one says it doesn't. So there's one that's more up to date, but it's like, just take some time and do a little bit of research. A little bit. Like smidgen of research. There's a new Humble monthly deal. I'm going to go. We're going right to deals. I don't want to. I've exhausted my voice, and I either need a beer or water because holy shit, am I parched. It's not in there, but there is a new Humble Monthly, so go take a look at that. And then I don't have, believe it or not, I don't have anything more because we're close to 2 hours.
Is there new PlayStation games? Probably.
There probably will be, but I'll talk about them next week.
Okay.
Because there'll be new Xbox ones too, and there'll be new Twitch ones. I will give you guys the full rundown next week of free deals.
I'm sure we'll have more to talk about with the Epic Store as well.
I'm sure we will, and I'm sure I will try to not do what I just did. And if somebody can remind me what I was supposed to show Matt on the YouTubes, that would be great.
It was the joke about heavy rain.
Kamal Nagiani. Good job.
Got it.
All right. That's the first time I remembered anything. We will talk to you guys next week. Bye-bye.